Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Jack&Maya podcast, your go-to spot where learning English isn't just simple, it's genuinely relaxing and a lot of fun. We're really glad you're joining us today.
Hi, everybody. It truly is fantastic to have you tuning in with us. I really hope your day is unfolding beautifully, no matter where you are listening from. We love connecting with all of you.
And if you're feeling a bit drained or just plain tired today, don't you worry at all. Today's episode is actually tailor-made just for you. We've got something super relatable coming up.
That's absolutely right. We're diving deep into a topic that almost everyone, at some point, experiences. That undeniable feeling of being completely worn out after a really long and demanding day. It's just part of life, isn't it?
It really is. And to illustrate this perfectly, we've put together a super realistic English conversation. It's between two friends, Ethan and Sophie, right after they've wrapped up their workday. You'll hear them processing everything, and they certainly have a lot to share about their day.
I think many of you will find yourselves nodding along, maybe even smiling as you listen. Because let's be honest, we've all had those days, haven't we? The ones where you just feel like you've run a marathon mentally.
Absolutely. Think about it. Endless meetings, an inbox overflowing with emails, and definitely not enough coffee to keep you going. That's a pretty standard scenario for many of us, myself included sometimes.
Speaker, that literally sounds like your typical Monday morning, if I'm being honest. You seem to specialize in those particularly challenging starts to the week.
Hey, you know what? You're not wrong there. But anyway, let's dive into their conversation now. Pay attention to how Ethan and Sophie talk about their fatigue and their plans. So Ethan kicks it off with the classic, "Finally, we're done for the day."
That feeling of sweet relief. Sophie totally echoes that with, "I thought that meeting would never end." And then Ethan confesses he was trying so hard not to fall asleep. I mean, who hasn't been there? It's so relatable.
Right? And Sophie, with a bit of a laugh, tells him, "Really? I noticed." It turns out Ethan was staring at the clock every 2 minutes. A dead giveaway. I think we can all agree.
Totally. But hey, can you blame him? He says the presentation felt endless. We've all sat through those presentations that just drag on, even if the client ultimately liked their ideas. That's a small victory at least.
Definitely. So after all that, Ethan asks Sophie if she's heading straight home. And Sophie, she's completely honest, saying, "I think so. I'm completely exhausted." A feeling I think most listeners can understand after a long day.
Absolutely. And Ethan's post-work plan is just perfection. Order food, watch one episode of a show, and accidentally fall asleep. That's literally the dream for many of us after a really taxing day. A truly effective way to unwind.
It really is. Sophie had initially wanted to go shopping, but she just didn't have the energy anymore. She calls it, "Today was a killer." A killer day. That's a strong way to describe a very difficult and demanding workday.
Oh, especially when the internet decided to stop working. That just adds insult to injury, doesn't it? They even joked about Kevin's stressed out face when it happened. Sometimes you just have to find humor in the chaos to get through it.
Exactly. They ended up laughing about it, realizing they were terrible friends, but admitting that laughing helps us survive busy days. It's a great point, finding that silver lining or a moment of lightness.
It totally is. And then, just when you think their day can't get any longer, both their buses are late. That's the cherry on top of a demanding day, right? So annoying.
I know, but they turned it around. Sophie suggests, "You know what? Let's grab a coffee instead." And Ethan's instantly on board. I like that idea. A perfect way to decompress.
Yes, they decide to sit down, relax, and complain about work for a few minutes. A classic strategy. And Ethan seals it with a simple deal. It shows how sometimes a small change of plans can make all the difference to end a stressful day.
That was such a realistic and relatable conversation. It really captured those end-of-day feelings and even some great problem solving. And as you mentioned, there were some absolutely excellent English expressions in there for us to unpack.
Yes, absolutely. Let's highlight a few. For instance, Ethan said, "I'm completely exhausted." Exhausted is such a powerful word, isn't it? It means you're not just tired, you're extremely tired, utterly drained of energy. After a truly demanding day, many people feel this deep sense of exhaustion.
Exactly. It really hits home. He also mentioned that the presentation felt endless. When something feels endless, it means it seems to go on forever forever, much longer than it actually is. It's that sensation of time just stretching out.
Like, imagine waiting in a ridiculously long line at the supermarket when you're in a huge hurry. Or a great example, waiting for your phone battery to charge when it's at 1% and you desperately need to make a call. That definitely feels endless.
That's a fantastic example, Speaker 2. Another really useful phrase we heard was heading straight home. This simply means going directly home without making any stops or detours along the way. It's about directness and focus.
I usually head straight home when I'm super hungry because nothing else matters at that point. Or if I've had one of those killer days that Sophie mentioned. A killer day is just an incredibly difficult or challenging day. It really pushes you to your limits.
Which is, let's be honest, almost every day for you, Speaker 2, when it comes to being hungry. You know yourself very well, and I know you very well too.
That's so true. And that, my friend, is exactly why we make such a good team on this podcast. Thanks for joining us today, everyone. We hope you learned something useful and found it relaxing.
Absolutely. Keep practicing your English, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.